Hey guys, Toki here, bringing you our fourth 5-minute or less raid guide for Vault of the Incarnates. These guides are meant to give you a brief rundown of the fight while skipping over common threats, such as dodging swirlies, and focusing on the really fight-defining mechanics for each boss. I highly recommend you supplement this guide by watching other guides with actual fight footage so you know what these mechanics look like. In addition, I'd like to caveat that this strategy is based on information we've received from beta. We're closely monitoring any changes Blizzard might make, and will adjust our strategy accordingly closer to raid week. With that out of the way, I'd like to share our strategy for Sennarth. Sennarth is, potentially, depending on tuning, one of the first gatekeepers of the raid. He has a lot of abilities with the potential to one-shot you and a lot of personal responsibility that goes along with it. Starting off, we'll talk about Chilling Blast. When Chilling Blast is on you, you'll do a small AoE around yourself, and so we'll need a loose spread throughout the area during the fight. When Chilling Blast expires, it drops a frost patch on the ground that makes you slip and slide and makes movement very difficult. We want to drop these out of the way. In addition, there is a mechanic that will web you, and it's similar to the Council of Blood from Castle Nathria, and that it will continually drop webs as you run around the room. You'll want to drop these in convenient places because they help mitigate his next main ability called Gossamer Burst. This ability does damage and pulls you in rapidly towards the boss and potentially off the platform. You can stand in webs on the ground to help make you immune to the grip, but you'll get a stacking debuff. When at 10 stacks, it'll turn you into a cocoon that stuns you for the duration, and the only way to get you out is to break you out through damage or by killing spiderlings that spawn in the room. Now, these spiderlings are small and can be AoE down, but they'll drop a toxic AoE on their death that will instantly clear someone's webbed condition. Now, going back to the Gossamer Burst, there are two other ways to mitigate it besides standing in webs. You can also move to the edge and just run away from the boss, or you can use some large movement cooldowns to push you away from the boss. Now, in addition to all these mechanics, we also will have a large frost arachnid that has a frontal cone that needs to be AoE down. He has a stacking damage buff that will grow larger and larger the longer he's alive, so he needs to be nuked fast. Once the boss reaches 75%, he'll start his journey up the platform. And that'll take us to our intermission phase. In the intermission, we have to cross this ramp, which is a very crowded area with lots of mechanics going on, which will have at least one Gossamer Burst. Now, we can cheese this Gossamer Burst by using a Warlock portal. And it's less important where the start portal is, just that it's far away, and more important where the end portal is, where it's at the far end so that you can use distance when Gossamer Burst pulls you to run away from it, and also so that's in front of these spiked terrain features that can also help you from falling off. And so the way that we use this mechanic is we wait until the boss is right about to cast Gossamer Burst, and then we take the portal right as he casts it. And so we'll be immune to the Gossamer Burst during our travel time, and then we'll be in perfect position to resist it as we come out. Once we get through the ramp, we'll come to another platform, very similar to the first platform, but we'll repeat the mechanics. We'll do this a few more times until we end on the last platform of the phase. Now, this is where his mechanics really ramp up and become harder. Now, when you get the web debuff in this phase, you'll instantly become a cocoon, which means it's more critical that we kill spiderlings on top of the webs, or we use extra cleave damage to break those people out. In addition, Chilling Blasts will add a persistent knockup effect wherever they're dropped, and so it's really important to drop them only on the edges of the platform. And finally, this entire platform is considered frosty ground, where you'll be slipping and sliding and making movement even more difficult. So this is the phase where we'll be burning him and popping hero. Again, depending on the tuning, this boss could absolutely be a gatekeeper boss, or he could be relatively easy. We just have to see what it looks like on launch day. And so that's all there is to this fight. That concludes our guide on Sennarth. Make to smash that like button for the algorithm or something. Happy rating.